Earth's only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the Yes, well, this is definitely a civil rights movement, and we're seeking justice for all at 100%. The end of the day, right? So, yeah, hopefully these people, what?
I'm like, is this on film or what?
Yes. Yes, Jill, it is on film.
We're just talking strategy, right?
Do you want to use my megaphone? No one wants to do it.
I'll use it.
I could totally do it. I don't mind at all. But I just want to say something specific. Should I just do a call for action to tell people, please, like, look up Bill 156. Please oppose Bill 156. I'll just repeat the same thing. Like, I don't. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, you can. Thank you so much for honking. Thank you so much. I don't know if I should go more in the median over here instead. Do you think I should talk to the people in the traffic here instead? Do you think they could hear me? Please 156. Please take action today. Honking is amazing. Thank you for your support. Please oppose Bill 156. Please go to bill156.com and oppose. What else? Tell me what else. I don't care. Anything.
I just saw that on the sign. It's really good. It's kind of good. I don't know if they're going to hear that.
Capitalism and speciesism killed Regan Russell. Justice for Regan. Please oppose Bill 156. Please take action today and oppose Bill 156. Bill 156 infringes all human rights.
Do the hashtags too. Go vegan for Regan and save pigs for Regan.
Hashtag go vegan for Regan. Hashtag save pigs for Regan. Justice for Regan. Please oppose Bill 156. That's like the biggest action that people can take now is opposing Bill 156, right?
I work in radio. Do you want me to do it? I know you don't really like to do it, and I've got a big voice.
I would love it.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
Justice for animals. Justice for Regan. We love animals. We love Regan. Oppose Bill. Oppose Bill 156. Justice for animals. We love animals. Justice for Regan. Save the animals.
Hey everyone, we are here today on Sunday for the memorial for Regan Russell. For those of you who don't know what have happened to Regan, she was tragically hit by a truck driver that was driving livestock to their death last Friday. And it was a very tragic event, and she was killed on the spot and her body was actually dragged. And we are all here, hundreds of activists, opposing not only Bill 156, but fighting against all injustices, against oppression. So right now I have tons of amazing animal activists behind me here, fighting for animal rights, here specifically in a memorial for Regan Russell due to the tragic events of her being killed last Friday. We also held a memorial last Sunday, but this Sunday people have had a little bit more noticed, so they've all come to join. And we're currently, let me switch the camera, we are currently on the bridge right now, and we are showing our signs for people to oppose Bill 156. Please oppose Bill 156. This is an infringement on human rights. This is an ag-gag law that is trying to stop activists from exposing the truth. You have the right to know. You have the right to know what happens to your food, what happens before. Please everyone, Bill 156. We need to oppose Bill 156. This is a key The key call for action I'm going to give to all of you today is to oppose Bill 156. And if you're looking for a specific letter, you can go to the Animal Justice website and you can find open letters that are written specifically to go against and oppose Bill 156, because that law was passed 2 days before our friend and activist Regan Russell was hit by the truck and murdered. And it is because of that bill we are led to believe, because the truck drivers actually thought that it was in effect, which it had passed, but it was not in effect. So it is very, very disgusting. It already shows how much they don't care about our life and how much they don't care about us. And at the end of the day, please, please take that call for action. Please, please oppose Bill 156. There are many ways you could go to bill156.com. There are petitions that have been signed and started. You can go to Animal Justice and find open letters and find your MPP that is in your riding, that is local, and send them that letter. Please, I beg all of you friends, whether you're vegan or not vegan, Bill 156 is in no one's interest. It's in none of us' interest. Whether you're vegan or not vegan, it's not in anyone's interest. I promise, vegan or not vegan, it's not in your best interest. Bill 156 is there to shut us all down. It's there to lie to you. It's there to hide the truth. It's there to hide the truth from you. So please, please take action today and stop Bill 156. Oppose Bill 156. Please. We've got banners all over the highway. We are here, of course, in justice for Regan. Again, she was killed last Friday by a truck driver driving livestock to driving the pigs. I wouldn't use the term livestock, driving the poor baby pigs to their death. And it's just so sad. It is all over social media. Of course, they haven't covered it on the news. So if you want to know more, please, please, just please oppose Bill 156.
Oppose Bill 156. Justice and compassion for all animals. In memory of Regan. Oppose Bill 156.
This is brutal, you guys. Please, like, if there's one thing I could ask you is to oppose Bill 156. Whether you're vegan or not vegan, Bill 156 is not in your best interest. Please, please look into it. You'll notice that there's anyone in their right mind and with a heart would know that this is fucking wrong. So please, please take action, okay? We could only count on you. If we don't unite and if we don't do this together, who else will? Who else will? You tell me, okay? Everyone else's interest, really, everyone else has money and greed and profit at heart. Do you think that we're all here for that? Capitalism and speciesism killed Regan Russell. Do you think that we're here supporting any of that? No. We're here fighting against injustice, against oppression, against every form of injustice and oppression. Please stop Bill 156. Please. We need to come together. As I've mentioned, vegan or not vegan, the Bill 156 is not in your best interest. So please, please put an end to this madness. Please help us fight justice for Regan. Save pigs for Regan. Please help us. Regan was a really amazing activist that had been doing activism for longer than since I was born, since 1977. And she was such a kind soul. And she stood up towards any injustice, not just animal rights, towards any injustice, any form of oppression. Please show your support for such a kind soul that had her life taken away from her for no reason other than these assholes trying to pass Bill 156, this ag-gag law that's trying to shut us down. Don't let it happen. Please don't let it happen. getting really good support from the people. We've got banners down everywhere on both sides. We've changed the banners to the other side now. Initially it was here, but now we've got all the signs here as well. Go vegan for Regan, please. She will be remembered forever, forever. Don't be that person. Go vegan for Regan.
In memory of Regan. Justice and mercy for animals. Oppose Bill 156. Love and compassion. In memory of Regan. Oppose Bill 156.
They're like really they're real supporters, all right? Slowing down the traffic, keeping the honk in. That's excellent. This was one of Regan's famous signs, actually, right here, that says all animals need protection under the law, and that was one of her most famous signs. You always knew Regan was there because she was holding that sign. I love that. Eat beans, not beings. Yes. Yes, don't support murder, you guys. Yes, peace. Peace and justice for all living beings. Save pigs for Regan. Stop Bill 156, please. If there's anything you take out of this message today, if there's anything you take out of this message today, help us stop Bill 156.
Justice and mercy for animals. Oppose Bill 156. In memory of Regan. Oppose Bill 156 and show love and compassion for all animals.
I have that sticker on my car with the dog and the pig. But that's really cute. I hadn't seen the cat and bird version.
I just picked up the sign there.
There you go.
Nothing to do with it.
That's how we do it. Hey, Peter.
Oppose Bill 156. Justice and mercy for all animals. Memory of Regan. Justice and mercy for all animals. Oppose Bill 156. Justice, compassion, and mercy for all.
Hey, you guys. Hey, Sophie. Hey, Brad, Marcia, Kaylin, Brandy. Hey, all you guys. Hey, Becca. Hey, Benjamin. Hey, Teddy. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Ready, guys? Justice and mercy for all animals. Oppose Bill 156.
Is this yours, dear, or should I
Yeah,
take it back to
that's
where
mine.
Okay.
Thank you. You done with it?
Well, yeah, you said that we're heading back.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
That's kind of heavy, eh?
It is heavy.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you. Got it?
Yep, thanks.
you can't leave it there at all.
Well, as long as you don't know.
Please oppose Bill 156. Justice for Regan, please oppose Bill 156. Please oppose Bill 156. Look into your own human rights. You have the right to know. Please oppose Bill 156. Please oppose Bill 156, please. I hope that means yes, I'll look into it.
Hey, you never know. Maybe 3-4 years down the line, right?
Exactly.
Always try to remember what I was like when I used to eat meat. Oh God, it's awful.
Please oppose Bill 156. I'm saying it when they have their windows down.
No, yeah, I know. You gotta keep doing it though. Just automatic.
Yeah.
Just be automatic about it.
That's true. Please oppose Bill 156. Bill156.com. Know your human rights. You have the right to know. Please oppose Bill 156. Please oppose Bill 156. You have the right to know. Oppose Bill 156, please. I see you.
So you're active in this area?
Eh?
You're active in the Toronto area?
I live in Oakville,
Oh, okay.
but so more here around Fearman's.
Oh,
and
right.
when I was going to the Institute of Holistic Nutrition in Mississauga, I would go to the Brampton Chicken Save as well. And I tried the Toronto, but it's far for me to go on. And
yeah.
I have a lot of one-on-one clients as well, which has changed a little bit through the whole COVID times.
I bet.
But I have them all online now, so I still can't really move from my house. Please oppose Bill 156. Please. Please oppose Bill 156. Know your rights. Oppose Bill 156, please. Oppose Bill 156. Know your rights. Please oppose Bill 156. Justice for Regan. Please oppose Bill 156. Oh God, I'm sweating so much right now.
You're doing awesome.
Last Sunday it was the same. Well, not the same. We didn't come all the way up here, but we stopped the whole intersection over there.
Good.
So we created a whole square. That was pretty good. That was the first time we ever did that. That was excellent. There was a lot of angry drivers, but
Good.
and yeah. So there was. I burnt so much last week. That's kind of why I'm pretty tan now.
You are?
It's my native blood coming out. As soon as I'm in the sun, boom.
Cool. Who's this guy?
I don't know. I smell some trouble.
Yeah, I like trouble.
Uh-oh.
But we're louder.
Are we gonna have to like
Maybe.
boot him in the face?
Oh, really? I like it.
my background's mixed martial arts. I have a little bit of ego sometimes when it comes to like, I hope you know that I could actually really, really hurt you right now in so many different ways.
She's winning.
You're killing endangered species with your ignorance.
That was almost funny.
That's actually reality.
Okay.
Which endangered species?
I think unawareness is what killed the most. Yeah.
Actually, it's ignorance.
Unawareness and ignorance, dear sir. Thank you. Yeah.
They'll side with you like instantly. That's true.
I wonder which endangered species he was talking about.
I don't even. That's why he makes no sense whatsoever. You
like
killed.
animal and
You
you're
killed
killing all the
endangered species with your ignorance. Okay, buddy.
Hippocratic.
Oh,
That's
Really?
exactly what he said.
No
you
way.
are Hippocratic.
wow.
No, this is a
Because
term.
I have a cell phone and because I have sunglasses.
Oh my god.
And because you're wearing shoes.
I'd like to know. So he thinks that like veganism means like living in like Neanderthal.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to know his solution to wearing shoes.
I don't know what he knows. Like he seems to have it all figured out. Wow, like what am I missing here?
That's so funny.
There's the Men's Have Feelings Club and
Men's Have Feelings Club. I love when Sabrina, when she goes, like when guys like that are just, she's like, yeah, that's definitely small penis syndrome. And the guys seem to really take it so, like such an offense. Where are you going?
wash my hands.
I have to go to the washroom really bad.
Yeah. And I need to clean my face.
Oh, if you want to, yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, that was.
I have him on camera calling me Hippocratic.
I have him on camera too.
I'm like, what did you say? He's like,
I think he has no idea what he was saying.
Smile says what you're working. Time heals all. This we know, we'll work it out. If I promised an ocean, would you care for the notion of staying here, resting your weary head? If I promised an ocean would... Sorry, the blade is blown over. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm losing my cord, sorry. I'm sorry, it's blowing all over, sorry. Sorry. If I promised an ocean, would you so, and that's a fact. Look now where I'm at. Miss you so, Regan. Look now where I'm at. Can't let go. There's more questions than there's answers. I'm not taking any chances, 'cause I need to let you know just how I feel. And if I promise an ocean, would you care for the notion of staying here, resting your weary head? And would you come back and see me? Or angel, am I dreaming? 'Cause heaven knows that I'll miss you so. I miss you so. Look now where I'm at. I miss you so, Regan. Look now where I'm at. I can't let go. I miss you so. I miss you so. And I know we are gonna miss her, that's for sure. The wind is blowing the papers everywhere, so just 1 minute here.
Got another clip if you need it.
Yeah, the more clips, the better. It's really impacted. This for maybe an extra right here. Maybe because the slot house actually shut down because of it, and then it was dragged here.
I'm gonna go here.
About 20 to 30 feet. About 20 to 30 feet according to a streak of blood. So she was caught here, and then she was dragged 20 to 30 feet. And then stopped at that point. Dead on the side. I got it, perfect. Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction, a beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins. Let me be empty and weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace.
vultures and thieves at your back. The storm keeps on twisting, keep on building life, make up for all that you lack. It don't make no difference, escape one last time. It's easy to believe in this sweet madness. Oh, this glorious sadness brings me to my knees in the arms of the angel. Fly away from here, from this cold, dark hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction, oh beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins. Let me be empty and weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. Got no more sad ones. I can play something more upbeat, a vegan original song if you'd like. Okay. This one's a little bit more power, but let me. Okay. Hopefully this holds. Okay. Okay, here's an original song. It's called We Are Vegan. Actually, I need this. Do I need that on? No, I don't need that. We were born
to this world, indoctrinated through the school. We heard the call of our hearts, and now we stand as lights in the dark. We are the ones who love the earth, stand up for animals. We see the world, and all we're asking is look in your heart, and you will see the truth. It's not that hard, 'cause we are one, we are love, we are vegan, we will rise above. We are the lights in the darkened world, sharing the truth with every boy and girl. Whoa, vegan, whoa, yeah. No more sickness or abuse. We the vegan took down that news. You have the voice, shout it out. Meat is murder, let's stop it now. We are one, we are love, we are vegan, we will rise above. We are the light in the darkened world, sharing the truth with every boy and girl. We are one, we are love, we're one with Regan.
Yep.
Make a video, okay?
Check.
Keep them up.
It's okay.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell it from fear, from cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for gold? Hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change. Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for leave of gold in a cage? You were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. Have we found the same old fear? I wish you were here. Just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. But have we found the same old fear? I wish you were here.
We love you, Regan Russell.
Rest in peace. Rest in power.
I want to welcome everyone to this memorial today. Regan would have been so thrilled to know that you were all here for her. We've basically taken over the space where she died, with love, with compassion, with promises for action, with animals being rescued in her name across the world. So my name's Jenny McQueen. I'm extremely sad and angry that we've lost an incredible human being. She and I shared the most dramatic moments together. She saved me from becoming unconscious at a nasty dog sled operation called Windrift. She and I, with others, ran into this awful place, Fearman's. She had a tussle with a worker. The pictures that you see of her, smiling, peaceful, she was feisty. She had fire in her belly. We need to know the real Regan Russell, and her life will come out in the speakers that follow me and in the songs that have been written for Regan. We just witnessed a young child in this slaughterhouse being pushed into a slaughterhouse truck. A young child inside a slaughterhouse truck with an electric paddle. Disgusting. Regan had passion and a huge heart. The speakers and the performers today will inspire you to take action for Regan and to go vegan for Regan. I want to give you a little breakdown of the speakers and the performances we're going to expect. Shimmy will start us off with a couple of amazing renditions, and then it's type of fluid formula as well. We might have some activists up first. It's very emotional for people to be up here. So, but within the agenda we have the family, we have activists who actually witnessed her death, we have close family friends. I'm going to read a statement from Joaquin Phoenix. Anita Crines of the Save Movement will come up and speak. Camille Labchuk of Animal Justice will come up and speak. I have a message from Nathaniel Erskine-Smith. And then we have an amazing audio message to Regan from Ingrid Newkirk of PETA. We'll finish the ceremony with a song by Erin Janus. Thank you.
Kelly, and I'm going to be singing 2 songs, and they were picked with Regan in mind. I remember tears streaming down your face when I said I'll never let you go. When all those shadows almost killed your light. I remember you said don't leave me here alone. But all that's dead and gone and past tonight. Just close your eyes, the sun is going down. You'll be alright, no one can hurt you now. Come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Don't you dare look out your window, darling, everything's on fire. The war outside our door keeps raging on. Hold on to this lullaby, even when the music's gone, gone. Just close your eyes, the sun is going down. You'll be alright, no one can hurt you now. Come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ah. Just close your eyes, you'll be alright. Come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Okay, and then this one's called A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Is it on? Oh. It's coming from my thing. Just one moment. Sorry guys, just one second. It might sound a little weird.
Go for it.
Regan would want you to remind yourselves regularly that we need to protect ourselves and each other from COVID-19. It is essential that the people who are changing the world for the better live through this pandemic. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for letting me speak. I met Regan in the late 80s, I think more likely the early 90s. She had a meeting where she started her activist group, Allies for Animal Rights. So often when I meet people, I get so self-conscious, so inadequate my social skills. All I can think about is how to get away. I don't register their names, and even more embarrassingly, I don't register their faces. But not Regan. Regan registered. She spoke the words I so desperately needed to hear. So in tune with my views, I felt like a lost gosling imprinted on her. I fell in love with her instantly. Shyly, I sought her approval. But because of my troubled life and insecurities, I didn't want to burden her with too much of my time or company. I've lived most of my life disconnected, like I'm not in my body. Education and self-preservation eluded me. Animal rights isolated me even more, and in a much bigger way. But it was the one thing that made sense in my gut, in my heart, and in my head. Through the years, I would come in and out of Regan's life. I was ashamed of my inadequacies, nervous of my words, unable to retain vital information or to connect my thoughts intelligently. I felt unworthy. And yet Regan instinctively understood me and always made me feel supported and loved. She even made me feel like she was proud of me. I would say to her that she is my mentor and I am her really bad student. She would laugh and say, "That sounds good." Regan gave me faith. She has always been my voice of guidance. Regan is who I always wanted to be. Friendly, kind, smart, charming, with an undying commitment to animal rights. Regan is stunningly beautiful, both inside and out. She is my animal rights queen. So giving of herself, Regan has touched so many lives in such a profound way. The speakers I know will be reciting the chorus of a love song that so many of us know by heart. So blessed are we, the people that she has touched. So devastating for us to lose her. So much more time I thought I had. I cherish the history and memories that Regan and I share. I can see her now, in the driver's seat of her car, me in the passenger seat. Between yelling at bad drivers, my life coach is telling me, she's worried about our mental health. She knows that so many of us feel that we just can't cope. Listen, she would say. We all knew this could happen. We all knew abusers are irrational. There's always a potential risk in any direct action. That has never stopped me. Now, we have to work through our feelings of guilt, grief, and anger. It will be a long journey. Cry uncontrollably, pace the floor, scream into your pillow. Just endure. Endure this time of madness. Don't read, watch, or listen to anything that isn't supportive. Find a peaceful way to focus your grief and anger. Write your words down. Stay connected to the people who calm you. Comfort your animals. Take all the time you need, but endure. The animals need you. I'm not done yet. The abusers will spew their blind rage. The haters will hate. The denialists, despite themselves, will be unable to avoid the facts. The fence sitters will feel the slivers in their ass and have to pick a side. The compassionate will defend and be inspired by Regan. What has happened is abundantly clear. Good against evil. Sides will be chosen. Evil is stagnating. Good is growth. Animal rights will grow exponentially throughout human history because of Regan Russell and her magnetic personality. Take time to honor her. Let the outsiders battle it out amongst themselves. If you feel the need to word battle, do us proud. But please, do it on their social media page, not ours. We know how they think. We don't want compassionate sites contaminated with such filth. Respect the witnesses, family, friends, and sensitive people who want to share their grief with kind thoughts. Regan loved life, and no one lived it better. Death will happen to all of us. Whatever way Regan could have died, her obituary is a monument to animal rights. She never backed down from an action that needed to be done, scary as they might be. Regan's conviction gave her the strength of a superhero. What future hurdles she would have overcome, we will never know. Regan lived and breathed animal rights. How she died remains infuriating. But it is befitting that she would die defending the cause she lived for. I envision Regan now as a soft snowfall. Beautiful, individualized snowflakes falling on animal rights people the world over, giving a kiss of strength to each and every one of us. Thank you, Regan. We are so grateful for the time we had with you.
And if you can reach people's compassion, then maybe they'll make a change in their life, and we'll all start. Again, I'm preaching to the converted. They'll start treating the animals more kindly if this is the world that they're going to be in. So from Regan, remember what she said. I don't know if it does any good, but doing nothing does no good. Let's go. REGAN.
She taught me to write, so I wrote it down. I'm Regan's stepson, Josh, Mark's son. Sorry, it's oddly not the first time I've been in the position where I feel like I'm eulogizing someone, but move it up. Is that better? There we go. Sorry, guys. 17 years ago, I moved in with Regan Russell. Like many broken and blended families, we spent the next 5 years challenging each other in ways that neither of us imagined we might. Early on, I once came upon her in the kitchen wearing a full beauty mask and hair regimen, and as she flinched, catching me in the corner of her eye, as she turned, I quipped, "Oh, you temptress, you." Regan was rather fond of that story because within weeks we had a moment where that she felt demonstrated my wit and her reality of living with a family. I rarely saw her beauty mask after that. In the following years, Regan and I had what might be described as a contentious relationship, but one that was generally respectful. The 5 years I spent living with Regan are 5 of the most formative and difficult years of your life, from 14 to 19. For me, those 5 years were kind of difficult. My naivety and ability to trust getting the better of me. My peers never treated me very kindly, probably because I put up with a lot of it, but also due to a lack of understanding who I was, perhaps. However, in spite of all those challenges that beset our relationship, Regan and I always treated each other with respect. It wasn't long before her and I had a moment alone and she realized I wasn't quite like the other kids. To be frank, I'd seen and heard so much, experienced so many traumas leading up to that age, that I never really had a chance to be a kid. I always was troubled with burdens beyond myself. She helped me ground myself and be more introspective. Regan wasn't one to entertain excuses though, and expected the best of me. She got me my first job at Julian Rogers driving range, and I hated that job, but she kept pushing me to do it anyway, and it taught me a lot about tolerance, and I still refer back to it all these years later. The next summer, I lived with my mom and worked at a convenience store, and Regan spent that time brokering me a spot at our local corner store, and they immediately hired me when 7-Eleven closed down across the street. I worked there for something like 7 years, and she was always suggesting something to fill my off time. She got me doing background work on sets as I was into drama at school. She convinced my dad to let me work with him and learn bits and pieces of trades. Ironically, she even took me to church events, but to her credit, I was something of a shit disturber and went on to challenge their budget once they cut youth funding. What I'm saying is, in spite of our differences, she pushed me to pursue my passions and build on myself. In spite of never wanting to be a parent necessarily, she was a great one for all the things I might deem personal failings. I've never driven, and Regan spent a lot of time driving me around. And all the time driving over the years, the car was rarely quiet. Even at odds, we found a way to navigate around that and discuss, well, just about anything. The rare times we crossed paths when I was in college, she would ask, "Did you get to this or that yet?" And she reminded me it should all be review if I did all the reading she told me to do over the years. And a lot of it was. She specifically nurtured my interest in anthropology and told me all the names of the great academics and philosophers that touched on the subject by the time I was 16. She often reminded me of poignant quotes, which she attested to growing up in an academic household. She saw in me an equal and strived to temper my mind. I can't say there have been many people in my life that have treated me with as much respect. Regan saw my ability to educate myself and honed it, and in all my waywardness has been my saving grace. There was a time Regan kept taking my mouse and keyboard so I'd go to sleep, and I kept thinking of ways to undermine that. When she took the mouse, I learned how to navigate without it. When she took the keyboard, I used the on-screen keyboard and a notepad of things to copy and paste and so on. And in all of this, I said something to the effect, well, you're so great. And she responded, well, win or lose, you'll only ever be as great as your greatest adversary. Today, we see her greatness reflected before us in a crowd. And in her name, we are going to face some of the greatest adversaries carrying her torch. Win or lose, if we could all be at least as great as Regan, we are all using our voices to make this world a little better, one day at a time. 6 years ago, my brother died. Zach was a kidney kid. He was born with a kidney disease that greatly affected his development. In his later years, he was coming into his own and mostly independent. Regan nurtured that, and our disagreement over that drove her and I apart. It is heartbreaking to bury our hatchets without being able to perhaps forgive each other and accept the differences that made us our own people. All I can do now is tearfully pat the dirt down and pick up her torch and demonstrate how we can all get along and make this world a better place and make each other better people along the way. One of my favorite quotes she told me was the Socratic paradox. I know that I know nothing. Well, I know doing nothing does no good, and I'm tired of being an observer of people like Regan cheering them on. We will challenge anything that infringes on the rights of whistleblowers, activists, and protesters in Regan's name from this day forward.
Next up, I want to introduce the activists who actually witnessed Regan's death. And with them will be Sabrina from New Wave Activism. So we've got Toronto Pig Save and New Wave Activism coming up next.
Thank everyone so much for being here for Regan. We were there the day that she unfortunately passed away, and it was obviously very hard to witness, and we just feel so sorry for Regan's family and friends. And we just want to talk about how great of a person Regan was. She was always friendly, always happy, always had bright neon colored signs, always in such a good mood in comparison to the people like me who are normally angry and yelling at drivers. So she was a good person to have. And yeah, we just really, really miss her, and she was a huge part of animal rights in Toronto and in Ontario, and she will always be remembered as being an amazing human being. Oh, and also please be very active about Bill 156. Regan was very, very, very adamant about fighting Bill 156. So we need everyone to sign all the petitions, message your MPPs, do as much as you can, go to actions, and just draw attention to the fact that this bill is unconstitutional. It shouldn't be legal. And so just also, if you guys could do that, we'd really appreciate it. It's in Regan's honor.
I was there that day. It was absolutely heartbreaking. Regan was a pillar of strength. She sometimes came here, I would say, practically every week she was here. There's a few times that she would just be here on her own with a sign. She embodied strength, and she was here. It was a very hot day, just like now. If you can imagine farmed animals right now and transport, going to the slaughterhouse. It was bearing witness that day. I've been doing this for quite a few years, and those pigs were in such distress. They were I'm sure there was many that were already dead, and all she wanted to do is to give water to them. It's such a stark irony that someone that had such good love in her heart, and the only reason she was here is not because she hated anyone or hated the industry. She was here because she wanted to give some love to these poor animals that were suffering. So I think I know a lot of you already. I'm looking and I know a lot of you. I think you're already doing this, but I know the most important thing for Regan was to be active. And she always said that. She said, you know, she actually said those words a few weeks ago. Why do we need, like with Black Lives Matter, why do we need such a tragedy in order to fight for justice? So I think the biggest thing is that we can't lose momentum now, right? Like, she died doing what she was meant to do, and we have to honor her. And if we're already active, that's fantastic. And just do what we can and encourage other people to be active. And we don't all have to do the same thing. There's so many different ways to be active. And the one thing we must do as Canadians is fight Bill 156. There's so many ways to do it. Please start by signing the petitions, donating to animal justice and the fundraiser that the family has started. Let's give the people, the lawyers, the ability to fight for justice for Regan, for justice for the animals. Thank you.
I'm a terrible public speaker at the best of times, so forgive me, but I just, like, on top of just looking out and seeing, like, so many people coming out to support her and how happy I'm sure it would make her, and just, like, wanting to continue this momentum for her, you know, not just coming out to remember her, but coming out to do what she was fighting so hard for. And like, she never tired, you know, she was here every single week almost. She never tired. And the other thing is just like, I'm quite guilty of letting the negatives of this world and the evil and the darkness get the best of me. And this experience obviously has been quite impactful, but I just, you know, seeing someone like Regan who dealt with this for 40 years or over 40 years, and she, you know, she was here every week witnessing, like, just the evil that we experience from the truckers and the slaughterhouse and the drivers, and she never let it get the best of her. She was still a bright presence. She was still she was welcoming, she was loving, she was kind, and she was such a presence at these vigils and at other actions and events. Like, you knew she was there even if you didn't know her. And, you know, so moving forward for myself, like, I just want to start making, you know, trying to be more like her, like trying not to let the darkness and the evil and the hate get to me, and just focusing on, you know, the love that we're all fighting for and the animals that we're fighting for.
So the last time we were in this spot together was a very different situation, but I think the hope that we have after such a tragedy is that looking out at this crowd, the light that we saw and experienced in Regan, just looking at all of your beautiful faces and looking into your eyes, like, this is the light that was in Regan that is in all of you, and we can carry it out into the world, and the angel that is Regan now is with us and fighting with us, and that is just so beautiful. And thank you to each and every one of you for fighting for the animals, for fighting for Regan. That it's just pure love. That's what I see in the light in all of you. So thank you.
Yeah, so I was really lucky to get to spend most Sundays with her for the past 2 years, along with people like Rob and Fiona and Dawson and Dale. And I was lucky to get to learn a lot from her, and just, yeah, she's just had so much to offer. And every time she was here, we would just have these great conversations, and we would have these great debates, and we would always, yeah, just talk about the movement and ways we could improve New Wave and what we could do. And I was just so lucky to have someone like her here. I can honestly say without her and Rob, I probably wouldn't have made it through so many years. Like, almost 2 years now. Like, it's hard. Only people like her make it like bearable, having people like her as a part of your family when you can come here and yeah, she was like such a rock to so many of us who were coming here, and it's important to remember that she actually didn't do a lot of bearing witness. She did a lot of like holding signs and educating people and making sure that there's always context to what's going on. So don't be afraid of coming here because you're overwhelmed by the bearing witness aspect. You know, having your presence here, strengthen numbers, showing support in that way is so special. And so we can just keep fighting and make up for the loss of someone who was able to fight so much and teach us so much, you know.
A message from Joaquin Phoenix. Regan Russell spent the final moments of her life providing comfort to pigs who had never experienced the touch of a kind hand. While her tragic death has brought upon deep sorrow in the animal safe community, we will honour her memory by vigorously confronting the cruelties she fought so hard to prevent. By marching with Black Lives, protecting Indigenous rights, fighting for LGBTQ equality, and living a compassionate vegan life.
And I'm an activist with Toronto Pig Save. Recently I was just asked to be an organizer with the Hamilton Save group, and we're going to be looking for more people to help us out. And I just had a few things I wanted to say about Regan. I had to cut it back a bit because there's so many good things to say about her. So Regan was a beautiful person, angelic in the way and in the welcoming and loving way that she treated others. She was a hero for the animals, yet very humble, and she was extremely dedicated. After a meeting with staff at our MPP's office in Hamilton about Bill 156, Regan explained in a chat group, "I see this as planting seeds, an introduction to our cause for future meetings. That the night that Regan died, I woke up with a vision of two hands holding a whole bunch of seeds. I see this as an offering for us in the animal rights community to plant seeds of compassion with our family, our friends, our co-workers, our politicians, and in our communities to create a better world for animals and for all who are oppressed." Thank you.
So if Camille Lapchuk or Anita Crines are ready to speak, then they can come up. In the meanwhile, I can read out a message from our federal MP, Nathaniel Erskine-Smith. He recently did a podcast dedicated to Regan. He said, "Regan, a kind and compassionate animal rights advocate, fatally hit while protesting the new ag-gag laws outside of a slaughterhouse. We need more people like Regan." Those who dedicate so much of their lives to the pursuit of justice for others. Regan put herself in harm's way to help animals in distress, and it's hard to accept that she lost her life bearing witness to animal cruelty mere days after Ontario's legislator moved to make her activism criminal. You can listen to Nate's podcast He talks with Camille Labchuk and another lawyer, Peter Sankoff, about the unconstitutional ag-gag law, which is an attempt to silence whistleblowers and those who expose animal cruelty. Thank you, Nathaniel.
Thank you. I'm Camille Labchuk. I'm an animal rights lawyer and the executive director of Animal Justice. And I'm sad that we all have to be here today, and I'm angry about it too. Canada killed 834 million animals for food last year. That's just land animals. That's just the land animals that we slaughter. We don't even count the fishes. 21 million of those animals were pigs, and many of them were killed here. If you're anything like me, those numbers don't really mean much to you. None of us can really conceptualize what 834 million lives lost looks like. But that's what Regan was doing. That's why she came to vigils outside Fearman's slaughterhouse, was to show people what that looked like, was to tell the stories of those individual animals, those individual pigs that she saw on the truck, that all of you see on those slaughter trucks, who suffer. The pigs who suffer because this country barely regulates animal transport and doesn't enforce the laws that do have. This slaughterhouse is ground zero for a number of incidents, and Regan's is just the latest. This is the place where 4 years ago a pig truck rolled over, and I'm sure some of you here today were on the scene that day. The truck rolled over and the pigs were running around dead, injured, dazed, and dying. And what did the slaughterhouse do? Did they show those pigs an ounce of compassion? No. They marched them. They walked them to their deaths. They refused to let any of them go to a sanctuary. And that brought the spotlight, because of the efforts of all of you to expose that event and to expose the suffering that happens inside the slaughterhouse, that brought the spotlight on Fearman's. But animal cruelty can't stand the spotlight, and so it fought back. The slaughterhouse fought back, and the truckers fought back by seeking to have criminal charges laid against Anita Crines for the act of compassion that so many of you engaged in, giving water to those pigs. The act of compassion that Regan engaged in so many times. And now we've seen something even worse than either of those two incidents for this community. Someone has actually lost their life outside this slaughterhouse, and that was Regan. I'm sad to be here and I'm angry to be here because Regan's death is not only heartbreaking for those who knew her and the loss to this community, but it is also so political. We have to keep in mind that the only reason she was here, it's not because anybody likes hanging out in the hot sun or the freezing cold winters and standing outside pig trucks bearing witness. She was here because the government doesn't bother to regulate animal welfare on farms. She was here because instead of regulating animal welfare on farms, the government's trying to shut down anybody who exposes that cruelty. Regan was here on that day protesting Bill 156, which is the latest but most insidious attempt to shut off those images that come out of farms that expose to the world how bad it is for animals. To shut off those images from people doing vigils like you outside this slaughterhouse that expose how bad transport conditions are for animals. Without those images, without that information reaching the public, social change is much more difficult, and the industry knows that, and that's why it's trying to silence us. And that's what Regan was here protesting when she died. Bill 156 passed only 2 days before, and it's heartbreaking to contemplate that it may have, even in those 48 hours, already emboldened the meat industry to declare open season on this type of activism. So now our job is to make sure that she didn't die in vain. It's to make sure that the constitutional freedoms and the rights that she was seeking to protect the day she died are something that we all cherish, and stop any attempt at government undermining them. She died fighting for the rights of animals, and now our job is to carry on that fight, not just for the rights of animals, but for the rights of all of us here today who are seeking to expose the cruelty that happens to them inside slaughterhouses. Animal cruelty can't stand the spotlight, and that's why the government and why the industry is working so hard to keep those images, to keep those videos out of the 6 p.m. news. That's why they passed Bill 156. Animal Justice believes this bill is wildly unconstitutional. It interferes with our rights to freedom of expression. It interferes with our rights to lawfully protest, like many people do here and in locations across the province. And we will be challenging Bill 156 in court. And we'll do so in Regan's name, and I promise you by the time this fight is over, the government and the industry are going to regret that they ever embarked down this path, because we've seen this movie before. And we know how it ends. In the United States, where they passed these gag laws to shut off images coming out of slaughterhouses and factory farms, guess what happened? Everyone started asking, what are they trying to hide? So as heartbreaking it is to live in this province and know that our constitutional rights have been so undermined by this powerful industry that will stop at nothing to protect its financial interests, we have to keep that fight going. We have to persevere. A quote comes to mind, you know, anytime you're involved in a social movement, there's pushback from the other side. There's pushback from the powerful interests that seek to protect their financial interests and don't care at all about the animals or the individuals they treat as commodities or disposable. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds. The seeds of legal change in this country have already been planted. The sign that Regan so often held up, all animals need protection under the law. They are starting to get those protections. It's been a long time coming, but it's happening. Last year, Parliament passed laws outlawing keeping whale and dolphins in captivity. Last year, we passed laws banning the shark fin trade in this country. Animal rights activists are starting to win, and that's why the industry is fighting back so hard at this point. They know it's only a matter of time before the public wakes up. People are already waking up, start to appreciate where their food comes from, and change their buying patterns. So the seeds of change have already been planted, and progress is being made, but of course there's pushback to that. We are the seeds, and you are the seeds, and Regan was a seed, and now we have to nurture that growth. We have to keep the fight going. We have to work as hard as we all possibly can to repeal Bill 156 through a legal challenge or any other means. I'll close with one of my other favorite quotes as it goes. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, and then you win. My friends, we are solidly in the stage where they are fighting us because they know that next we win. And I've never been more hopeful than I am looking around you here today and the countless vigils that have happened around the world in Regan's honor, and I know that we are going to win.
Regan lost her life giving water to thirsty pigs and defending the right to protest. We will work 10 times harder to revoke Ontario Ag Bill 156 and introduce a Regan Bill of Animal Rights. That's demand number one. The last time Regan bore witness on the morning of Friday, June 19th, she was focused as though in a triage operation with fellow activists Lori and Anda, Kieran, Maggie, Nicole, and Ellie, giving water to thirsty pigs that heart-scorching morning. Regan was holding a 1-gallon water bottle with a hose when she was struck and killed by a pig transport truck at the entrance gates at Fearman Slaughterhouse right here. Regan stepped up attendance at pig vigils the week the bill passed. She was tired, she told Mark, her husband, and her girlfriend Kathleen, but she went. She was determined. Regan said, quote, "My work is now ahead of me with Bill 156. Do you know what it means?" Her last Facebook post criticized Ontario Ag Bill 156, which passed on Wednesday, June 17th, 2 days before she was brutally struck and killed. Her last Facebook post was a meme. Regan wrote, quote, "Bill 156 has passed. Now, anytime an animal is suffering on a farm in Ontario, no one, not even an employee, has the right to expose it. This decision is evil. Animal ag is evil. Cancel animal agriculture." Our second demand is that Fearman's shut down its pig slaughter operation and become a plant-based facility. It should change its name from Fearman's to Pea Woman's, pea protein. Regan often attended pig vigils at Fearman's slaughterhouse. She brought her bright orange and yellow signs with clear, powerful messages. That is actually her sign right there, with the, including "We are their voice. If you were in this truck, we would be here for you too." And that sort of reflected her belief in fighting for all social justice causes like Black Lives Matter, women's rights, and so forth. Another one, she was holding a sign right there where you're standing. "Please give us 2 minutes with the pigs." She would stand in front of those transport trucks with a sign pointed to the public to show and tell people why we were holding a vigil and bearing witness. She was almost protecting the people that were bearing witness, and as Sabrina said, she was providing context to the drivers. She would sprightly go to the front of the Fearman's gates to stop the trucks with fellow activists. She often stood right around here. Last July, she attended emergency vigils for the pigs during the heat waves. There was a truck that tried to run into us, so en masse, we entered the premises of Fearman's when we saw many trucks idling with pigs sitting in the lot. She gave water to the thirsty pigs, and in a live stream with Jenny McQueen said, "Oh my God, oh my God." And then the security guard said, "What are you giving the pigs?" She said, "Water." And she said, "It's horrible, it's cruelty." And then he said, "You're not supposed to trespass." And then she said, "Trespassing is nothing. That's nothing compared to, the suffering and the exploitation of the animals." On October 2016, I don't know, is Mark here? Okay, thank you. There's Mark. October 2016, when there was the pig rollover, Mark was there and had his arm around Regan, and in the other hand, Mark held a sign that said, "Fearman's shows no mercy, #save the pigs." And now when this tragedy happened, 9 days on Friday, on Friday, a week Friday, the hashtag was #save pigs for Regan. And again, Fearman showed no mercy. The truck that struck her, they brought another truck to unload the pigs into them and then took them to the kill floor. So they didn't learn their lesson, hence, we are demanding they release some pigs, but a bigger demand is we want to shut them down. We don't want pig trucks coming here where they struck her anymore. Regan attended my pig trial at the courthouse. Agnes Chesky, who's here. Agnes, could you put up your hand? She's done incredible videography over the years. And it includes Regan in the back row, standing with PETA's Ingrid Newkirk, who came to that courthouse vigil, which, and she was, we were repeating the words, "Stand up for pigs, compassion is not a crime. Stand up for pigs, compassion is not a crime." And she was struck here while she was, it was a 2-hour vigil. She had been giving water to the thirsty pigs. She was just giving compassion like everyone else who was here. Regan was arrested, we know from Mark and the coverage in the Hamilton Spectator. Regan was arrested 11 times for animals. She was at Marine Land protests, stood up for sled dogs, recently trespassing to expose extreme cruelty. She protested on behalf of sexual assault victims. And 1 week before she was killed, she attended a Black Lives Matter protest in Hamilton. Regan's mission was to make the world a better place for animals and all people. And so our mission, as was said, is that she does not die in vain. We promise Mark, her parents, her friends, her entire vegan family worldwide, we will work 10 times harder. And our demand is a Regan Bill of Animal Rights, which recognizes the personhood, not only revokes Bill 156, it goes beyond that. It recognizes the personhood of pigs, so they're not and other animals, so they're not property. We will fight for defunding animal agriculture, no more subsidies, and funding a just transition to a plant-based food system. Stop construction of all new slaughterhouses, including Maple Leaf's chicken slaughterhouse in London. And we will do everything we can to transition Safina Foods, which owns Fearman's, to a completely plant-based food company. And this initiative will spread globally. So a few calls to action are: we will continue these memorial vigils around the world. We're going to do billboards campaigns in Burlington, Hamilton, Toronto, and across Canada. We're going to have street posters and stickers. We're going to have a World Day of Action. We're going to have marches, protests, direct action like the action recently, I think it was a couple days ago in London, or was it yesterday? Sorry, lost track. Yesterday in London, where 2 Canadian women super glued themselves on the street in front of the Canadian High Commission. We're going to do an open letter to Ford, the Ford government, the Conservative Ford government in Ontario, signed by prominent individuals and groups that include social movements across the spectrum, not just vegan groups, but there's a group called Global Witness, which fights for like environmentalists that were killed, labor unions, union fighters, and so forth. And we're going to ask that the Bill 156 be revoked, and in its place, a Regan Bill of Animal Rights be introduced. Thank you.
Amazing speak outs in honor of Regan. I'm really excited to introduce the next guest. She sent a special message. It's Ingrid Newkirk from Peter.
Hello everyone. I'm not with you in the flesh, but I am with you. We all know that the next pandemic may emerge from pig farms. We have been asking politely for a long time for farming and killing of animals to stop. Now it's time to consider doing much more than politely asking. 46 years ago, Robert Wyatt wrote the song you're about to hear as he drove into the English countryside. Let me recite the lyrics first. Well, we're driving through Wiltshire. Very nice countryside, sky, ground, all that sort of thing. I'm looking out the window, as I don't come from that part of the world. And I said, what's that over there? A sort of low grey concrete thing, all surrounded by fields, like the foundations of a building. It had little walls just about a foot or two high, and on top of it there was a flat roof. I pointed as the car passed it and I said, what was that? And the country person who was with me said, that's where they keep pigs. I thought, oh yes, I see, that's where they keep pigs. And the sun was shining down, and the grass was green, and it was all very lovely, driving in the country. And I suddenly thought, what must that building be like from the inside? Pigs in there? Pigs in there? Pigs on a day like this? In there? Pigs huddled up in there, in the dark, in there, living in there. Pigs in there. Pigs. Please join me in thinking about the pigs. If you can hold hands, please do. You may wish to sway to this song. as I do, as I think about what it describes. Here it is.
Well, we're driving through Wiltshire. Very nice countryside, sky, ground, that sort of thing. Natural marriage, natural resources. And I'm looking out the window, because I don't come from that part of the world, and I said, what's that over there? It was sort of low grey concrete thing. It was all surrounded by fields, really nice trees, but there was a sort of low, like a sort of a large square of concrete, like the foundations of a building that had been built. But it had little walls, about a foot high or something. It looked like that, maybe 2 foot high. And in fact, it was a sort of top of it with a sort of flat roof. And I thought, oh, I see. And then I pointed as a car got past it. I said, what was that? And the country person that was with me said, oh, that's where they keep pigs. And I thought, oh, yes, that's where they keep pigs. And the sun was shining down, and grass was green, and it was all very lovely drive in the country. And I suddenly thought that what that building was doing like from the inside. Pigs. In there. Pigs. In there. Pigs. In there. Pigs. In there. In there. Pigs. In there. Pigs. How do they live in there? Pigs. How do they live in there? Pigs. How do they live in there? Pigs. In there. In the dog. In there. I don't like this. Is it in there? Pigs. In there. Pigs.
Yes, pigs, still in there. And over there, going through those gates into the slaughterhouse after that life, or lack of life. Let's remember them. And let's remember Regan with love. Yes, love, but far more importantly, with action. Please, let's feed people vegan bacon, vegan sausage, vegan ham. People who have never tried it before. Let's find them and feed them. Let's cook for them, shop for them, show them films. Ask people to go vegan for your birthday or as a favor or in Regan's memory. Please, let's give out and post up flyers, posters. Let's use social media all the time. Let's make a great nuisance of ourselves for the pig's sake, for her sake. We have to act now for her, because her activism for pigs is missing now. And please remember, people change. In 1748, John Newton was a slave trader. If you've heard the song Amazing Grace, it's about how Newton ended up devoting his entire life to the anti-slavery movement. Justin Reinecke worked on a pig farm in Manitoba where pigs' tails were cut off with a pair of snips and pigs were castrated without painkillers before they board the trucks to places like this. Reinecke walked away and he is now an outspoken vegan. Miracles happen. Hope is nice, but miracles take work. So let's work. to close this place down and close all the slaughterhouses down. It's in our hands. My respect to you all. Good luck in everything you do. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
That shirt.
Thank you.
I was just trying to get the Stop Bill 156 on the other side. Thank you so much. With Unfuck the World.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Oh, wait, was my chair right there?
Yeah, where you found the horn too.
Yeah.
Does he go with the car now?
I'm
gonna go put this in the car.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna I need to be in the shade again. I'm burning so much right now. Eh? So
Regan Russell, beloved wife, daughter, sister, and friend, was violently killed when she was struck by a transport truck operated by Brussels Transport Inc. outside Fearman's Pork, I hate saying that word, in Burlington, Ontario, right here. Published interviews of witnesses who were in the vicinity prior to the fatality indicate that the driver did not appropriately advance from the intersection toward the slaughterhouse facility. Witness accounts provided to the media reported that the driver idled his truck for 4 to 5 minutes in the outside lane of the 2-lane road just over there. He allowed 2 full traffic light cycles to pass while blocking the traffic. We are also aware of reports that the driver then, without warning, accelerated at a high rate of speed towards Regan, running her over. Additionally, there is video 2 minutes before her death, clearly showing how Regan was standing in the roadway that faces Fearman's, basically standing and looking right at you now, with a truck stationed perpendicular to her. From this video, it is clear that the driver should have seen her. We also want to say he must have seen her, but we're couching it in should have seen her right now. It is clear that the full weight and force of the truck inflicted devastating damage to Regan's body. We believe that the driver accelerated towards Regan Russell with an absolute disregard for her safety, if not an intent to harm. Video we are compiling of other drivers show they intentionally drove into our activists at Fearman's. They all must know the danger that their actions could cause extreme and fatal injuries. In fact, one Halton police officer is on video, recorded, confronting a truck driver right here, saying, "Are you trying to kill someone?" As concerned citizens, family and friends of Regan, we are asking you to address why such credible reports and other information have not been sufficient to determine probable cause and to arrest and press charges against the driver. Further, we question why police protection was not available to activists on public property outside the slaughterhouse, nor has it been when transport trucks frequently sped towards citizens peacefully assembled. This violence against us has been thoroughly documented and will be disseminated. We demand that the Halton Police press charges against the transport truck driver that fatally struck Regan Russell. In view of the information available at this juncture, it is evident that the transport truck driver showed wanton and reckless disregard for the safety of other persons, causing death. Therefore, he must be charged under the Criminal Code of Canada without further delay. And this is addressed from a coalition of concerned citizens seeking justice for Regan. So gather round. We're now finished with the official memorial service. We're not finished for today. If you want to stick around, we will be doing an action and we will be sticking around. We can lay flowers with music and we can just mingle, take photographs, etc. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to us. Thank you.
Well said.
I'm gonna leave. Thank you so much.
I didn't.
It says you sent me $90.
Oh, that was a while back.